Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles, your favorite true crime podcast. I am Donnie, and with me is a man that has a word for everyone who says that money can't buy happiness. Cause have you ever handed money to someone and they handed you a beer?
That's right.
It's Dale.
Yeah, that's right. BWR.
Yep, gotta have that beer.
Or Monster beer.
It just levels you out, huh?
Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
We could use a sponsor, Monster.
Yeah, if you want to sponsor us, shoot us an email. We'll put you on the show.
Yeah, we'll get us hooked up.
That's right.
Just send us a case. We'll talk all you want.
What's going on today, dude?
Same old, man. You know it.
I know. What's going on with that, though?
It's cold.
It is cold.
You like it, but I hate it.
Well, I don't like it real cold.
Like 16 degrees cold.
Yeah, but it's supposed to get colder than that.
Yeah.
There's a cold snap coming in.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But you know what I do like?
Hey,
how about that?
bring it on.
We have a brand new Apple Podcast review. A 5-star.
5-star.
And it goes, great podcast. You guys really do a wonderful job with your podcast. I'm addicted to your episodes. Keep up the great work. And that comes from Tubalcane1.
Well,
Tubalcane1.
Well, ain't that cool?
Yeah, it is. Tubalcane.
Tubalcane.
Yeah.
We appreciate it a whole bunch.
Yeah, thanks so much for taking the time to give us a 5-star review and put a little bit in the box. So it lets us know you did, and we'll happily give you a shout out if you want to do the same.
That's right.
Also, Donnie, I'd like to recognize Rich Adams, man. What more can I say about the guy? He keeps you guys from seeing a bunch of crappy stuff on our fan page. He's one of the admins there, and he's always blocking off his weird stuff that pops up, and trust me, you don't want to see it. And do that stuff, and I mean, he works hard for us, and we appreciate all he does. But on top of that, man, he's slung a hunk of money in our gas fund this time, man. And how cool is that?
That's very cool.
I can't thank you enough, man. That was really, really nice of you. Thanks so much, man.
That's just awesome. Help keeps the light on and keeps us going, man.
Yeah, I mean, he works like heck for us, and he don't get paid for it.
No.
But anyway, we appreciate you, and I mean, I know he loves us, and that's why he does it. But man, I'm really thankful. Thanks so much, dude.
Yeah, we appreciate it a whole bunch. And if anybody wants to be like Tubalcane1 and go to Apple Podcast and leave a rate and review, please do. Or you can be like Rich Adams and donate to the gas fund.
Yeah.
Or if you just want to tell a friend, you can do that too.
Oh yeah, we'll take any kind of donation or anything like that.
Just word of mouth.
Yeah. If I could think of words, I'd say them.
Yeah. We appreciate it all.
I was going to say compliments. There it is.
Well,
I'm a monster beer behind, I guess. Maybe I need some energy or something.
He's got to have something in his brain to help us tonight.
Yeah. It's too cold, man. I froze up. I can't take it. I'd rather have 100 degrees in this mess. I can't do it.
Man. Well, we're going to get going on this episode, dude.
All right, man.
Because we got a crazy case, and we got something that's going to piss Dale off.
Oh, boy. So you know that's going to be a good one.
Yeah. This is some bad cop going on in this episode.
I think you just look for episodes that's going to piss me off.
Yeah, this one is rough, man. I mean, it's just negligence on the part of the law enforcement in this episode.
On top of it.
It is, and you know, we back the guys in uniform.
We do.
Yeah, in blue. We support those guys.
Yeah, we got some on our team.
Yeah, we do.
We appreciate them.
But after hearing this case, it's gonna tick some people off what they did.
Yeah, I expect David James and Mark Davis to be chiming in on this mess.
I hope they do. What could have been done different?
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, but we're going back to 1986 on this episode.
Oh man, that's a great time.
It is middle of the 80s.
Yeah,
good music, good times.
High school, baby.
Yeah, but we're talking about a lady by the name of Denise Diane Pflum.
Pflum.
Yeah,
Pflum.
And she was from Connersville, Indiana. And just a little bit of background on Denise. She was born on January the 14th of 1968. So
happy birthday.
Yeah, she would have just turned 56 years old this past January the 14th.
Wow.
Yeah. But like I said, she was from Connersville, Indiana. And her parents are Judy and David Pflum. And she has a younger sister named Jenny. And they were just a really good family. I mean, they were tight-knit, very close. And Denise was really good in school, man.
Oh, yeah. She was top 6 in her class.
Yes, and played 3 sports.
While doing 3 sports. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She ran track, played basketball and volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very
athletic, yeah.
Yeah. And to be 6th in her class, too.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
Hard working,
yeah.
man.
Very, very.
That don't come easy.
Yeah. She was doing so well in school that she had gotten a scholarship to go to Miami University there in Indiana.
Yeah.
With a track scholarship.
Cool.
Yeah, so she was on her way.
She was running right up to the top, wasn't she?
She was. And there at Miami University, she's going to study microbiology.
Wow.
So she's going into science and
She had all her ducks in a row. This girl has got it going on.
She really did.
Yeah.
Very, very smart girl. Can't say enough about her.
I think at this time, the only thing she was looking forward to was her prom and graduation and going to college.
Yeah.
She had everything lined up and ready to go.
Yeah, very, very focused lady.
Very, yeah, keyword.
So this time that she went missing, it was on March the 27th of 1986. Actually, she went missing on March the 28th, but we're going to the day before, which is March the 27th of 1986.
Yeah, that's usually the day before 28.
It is, yeah. So I'm glad you keep me straight.
Yes, sir.
But March the 27th of 1986 was on a Thursday, and she was going to go to a party that night. It was a bonfire party, and it was going to be a lot of classmates there, and it'd been reported that a lot of the classmates went out of town, I guess, for spring break kind of thing.
Spring break thing, yeah. And she was invited to go, but she chose not to.
Yeah, she was going to hang around.
Well, track was going on, and she was serious into that, so she was going to...
They probably had some kind of practice or something.
Well, yeah. Stuff she was bearing down on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was going to that bonfire party.
Right.
And the place it was being held was on a farm, and it was like just maybe 15 minutes from the house.
Yeah, I think it was like 6 miles or something.
Yeah, it wasn't far at all.
Mm.
No. So she goes with one of her friends to this party.
And it's a twin. The numbers are all over the place. It's either somewhere around 100 up to 300. Who knows?
Yeah.
Of course, if you're at a big bonfire party, how do you know how many people's there? You know, it's like people coming in, coming out. You know, people stays, people just drop in low. So anyway, a lot of people were there.
Drop in, drink a beer, and leave.
Right.
So it's probably just come and go kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it had also been reported that on the way to this bonfire, her and her friend, I think her name was Kim.
I think so.
They had stopped at a store to buy some beer.
How did that work?
Yeah, they were 18.
Yeah.
And the age to buy beer and alcohol in Indiana at that time was 21.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless it was just this one little store maybe that didn't mind. Who knows?
If anybody knows anything different.
Yeah, we ain't throwing nobody in the bus, but we just kind of questioned ourselves, and then we looked it up and like, wait a minute, how did that work?
It had been reported that they had stopped and bought beer.
Trust me, I know in 1986 here, you couldn't buy beer if you was under 21.
Yeah.
Wink.
Yeah. But they got to this bonfire, and they were having a pretty good time, but Denise had misplaced her pocketbook.
Her purse.
Well,
Where are you from?
I don't know the difference. I guess up there they call it a purse.
Yeah.
She had misplaced this purse and couldn't find it.
And it's kind of weird because nobody really knows where it was misplaced. Like if she just set it down and forgot where it was or what. Because it's kind of odd. I mean, if she drove there, why wouldn't she just leave that in the car?
Yeah.
You know?
Lock the door.
Right. You keep your keys. Unless, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you need what's in there, but it's kind of odd to me. Go ahead.
It is kind of odd. But this bonfire was out in the middle of a field.
Right. So why would you want to carry it around? Of course, I don't carry one, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
She might have had a reason. We'll just go with that.
Ladies want to chime in on that, they can let us know.
Yeah.
But anyway, they stayed for a while at this party, and Denise had to go back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she had stuff to do the next day. And the next morning, she realized she still didn't have her purse.
Right.
And she was going to have to go back out to that field to find her purse.
See if she can find it, right?
Yeah. And it was getting up about lunchtime, and her mom had came home from work. She had worked at a local bank, her mom, Judy. And this was Good Friday, which is kind of weird to me because I thought the banks were closed on Friday, Good Friday.
Yeah, I don't know if it's closed on Good Friday or Easter Monday.
Yeah.
Or both.
And this particular bank could have been open on that Good Friday. So, but she had a long lunch break. And when she got home, Denise was there. And Denise told her that she was going back out to this field to look for her purse.
Right.
And she called a couple of her friends to go with her.
Yep.
But these friends were busy. They had something to do and couldn't go with her.
And it's kind of odd. Well, it's not odd, but we don't know why she wanted somebody to go. Maybe she just wanted somebody to hang out with or just go with her and help her look, or if she was worried about something, or she's running to somebody the night before. We don't know anything why, but, sometimes you just want a friend to go with you.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I do too.
And it'd save time looking for the purse.
Correct.
Yeah. So Denise leaves the house, and she drives her parents' Buick Regal. It's a 1981 cream-colored Buick Regal, which is a sweet little ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. A very popular car back in the day. So she goes and looks for her purse. And around 12:30, Judy, her mom, starts doing some work around the house, and then she goes back to work. And didn't think any more about Denise, figured she'd see her later that evening.
Correct, yep.
But there's some sources say that after an hour after Judy got home, which would have been about...
We're going to guess 5:30?
Yeah.
somewhere there.
Yeah. Denise hadn't got home.
Still hadn't made it back. Right?
No. No sign of her. So at around 8:30 p.m., Judy and her husband, David, they decide they can't keep waiting around for Denise to come home.
Yeah.
So they go to the sheriff's department and report her missing.
Right.
And they didn't do anything. You know, they said that she probably just went out with some friends and was
Imagine that.
yeah. So just, hang tight and maybe she'll show up.
Right. Well, she hadn't been gone, a long, long time, but they just knew this was odd for her not to check in with her parents or let them know what's going on. If she was going to go out there and look for the purse, she would have came back home before she went anything else. Is kind of what they're thinking.
Yeah. But see, Denise was pretty good about checking in.
Yeah.
If she went somewhere, she got somewhere, she'd let them know where she was at.
Yeah. Call and let you know.
This was pre-cell phone days. So.
Right. Whenever you get where you're going, call me and let you know you're there.
Yeah, that's right. So they start calling around to some relatives and friends of Denise's, trying to find out where she's at.
Right.
And this is when the dad, David, he gets serious about this. He gets in his car and starts driving around looking for Denise.
Yes.
He's driving up and down the streets of Connersville, Indiana, looking for her.
I would be doing the same.
Yep, all night long. And Judy's waiting at home just in case Denise comes back home or calls or something.
Yeah, somebody needs to be there manning the phones because you can't take it with you.
That's right. And word gets out that Denise is missing. And the next morning, there were some local farmers that had been out working in their fields when they noticed there was a car that was parked in a secluded lane. This was a gravel road. And these farmers, they really didn't think much about it because there had been times when, I guess, people will pull up and these mushroom hunters will go out in the woods looking for mushrooms, I guess, or
whatever.
Yeah. And this, I guess it's common to see a car out there every once in a while, but they didn't think anything about it.
Actually, they had seen this car probably like 1:30 on the day that she went missing.
Yes, it is.
So it was only like an hour or so after she left the house that the car was sitting there.
And this car, where it was sitting, was 4 miles from where the party was held.
Correct.
Yes.
And we don't know if that was 4 miles closer to home or farther away.
Yeah, we don't
All
know.
we know is 4 miles from the field.
Yes, that's right. So when Saturday came around, they noticed that the car was still there.
Mm-hmm.
And word had gotten out of Denise pretty much everywhere. So they go and report the car. These farmers did. And the local authorities come to the scene. But this is what gets me. The parents got there to find the car before the authorities did.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know. That right there ain't really so weird to me that they would get there first. But I don't know how they would know. Heck, I don't know. It's kind of odd. Anyway, go ahead.
It is odd.
Maybe when they called the cops called the parents.
Could
They
have
would found
been.
the car and they took off over there. And if they were closer, they'd have got there first.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
It would make sense. So the police, they start processing the car right away at the scene, and they search around the field looking for any clues or anything. They didn't spot any footprints around the car or anything.
It's kind of weird.
It's very weird.
But if it was on gravel, you ain't gonna see a lot of footprints, But I guess they were looking in the field around it, or maybe
Yeah,
see if it was disturbed or anything like that. If something had been going on where the gravel had been scratched up, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But they didn't find anything in the car, no sign of foul play, and the driver's seat was at the right distance from the steering wheel where it looked like Denise had been driving the car.
Yeah, but the car was locked.
Yes, it was.
So I guess the good thing the parents got there first. They'd have a key to get for them to get in. But yeah, so the car's sitting there, it's locked up, nobody's around it, no signs of foul play around it, no gravel's not disturbed like there's some kind of struggle went on, nothing. It's just like it's sitting there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they just let the parents have the car. Yeah, they didn't take the car in. They didn't do anything, process it or anything. They just checked it out there at this gravel road, and that's all they done, Dale.
Now, I heard they took a couple fingerprints, but we don't know from where.
Yeah.
But how would they done that unless it was blatant? You know what to do? Put a piece of tape on it and walk off?
I guess.
Because if they done that, it's more than they've done anything else.
Yeah.
Mm.
But they let the parents have the car. They didn't.
That's odd, man.
Yeah. If you got a kid missing, just ask the parents if we can just keep the car for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least they'll look at it good.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's odd.
Process the car. Look, check out the trunk. Check out underneath. Lift it up.
Something.
Yeah.
Act like you care. Put it that way.
But they didn't do anything.
No, nothing.
And the parents came back the next day, and there was a red handkerchief that was laying there where the car was. And they didn't notice this red handkerchief the day that the car was there.
Correct.
Yeah. So they don't know if somebody came back out there looking around where the car was or what.
Possibly. But they did collect the handkerchief.
They did.
But also they said that Denise had one like it, so they thought maybe it was hers, but they later found out that hers is still in her room, so it definitely wasn't hers.
That's right. And they were trying to figure out what could have happened to Denise. And they got to, looking at the family. You always got to look at the inner circle, man. You got to, look at the parents.
You got to start there and work out.
Yeah, you do. And the parents, they were good. I mean, they had alibis on this, and she didn't have any enemies and really no boyfriend at the time, but she did have an ex-boyfriend.
Correct.
And his name was Sean McClung. And he and Denise, they'd been together for about 3 years in high school. But they decided to break things off. It was about a month before she disappeared.
Right.
And this was according to some letters that Denise had wrote some of her friends. And she described their relationship as less than healthy.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. But Denise, it had been reported that she had cheated on Sean.
Right. Well, in this letter that she wrote her friend, she said, she was fearful for her life. But I don't know if that's exactly what it said. I think it was more like she had done something and she was going to tell Sean, and she knew she had messed up.
Yeah,
but that's what it was.
But she had cheated on him.
Right. She had to tell him she had cheated on him, and she was kind of scared for that. I think that's more than fearful for her life.
Well, that'd make anybody nervous,
Oh, yeah. Well, you done messed up. You have, and then you got to tell him.
But Denise was a very honest girl.
Oh, apparently.
She's a teenager. I mean, they weren't married or anything. She just...
Yeah, she could have just not told him and hope he didn't find out, but that ain't the way she worked.
Yeah. Yeah, she was going to come clean.
Yeah.
And Sean took this pretty hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty upset, which is understandable.
Right. And even though he told him, everything's good and it was a mutual breakup and we're still friends, he probably had a little grit in his craw over that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's hard to take.
But now the friends...
Especially after a 3-year relationship.
That's right.
Yeah.
But now all the friends did say that they were remaining friends.
Yeah.
And everything was good.
Seemed to be good.
Yeah.
Anyway, right.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he said he was out fishing with some friends the day that she was gone.
Yeah.
That she disappeared.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
And they didn't even check on that. That's what he told them, and they took it.
Now, later, the friends would say, I don't think he was with us fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they didn't ever go back and...
No.
God almighty.
They didn't verify any alibi or anything with this guy.
So, okay, you guys are good. You broke up and everything's cool. So, we're good.
Mm-hmm. But now the police, they seemed unconcerned because of this.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything. The main guy, Sean, because of one of Denise's family members, talked to him like the day after her disappearance, and he doesn't even seem worried at all.
Right, that's kind of weird, isn't it?
He doesn't even participate in any of the searches for her.
No.
But now this is another thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because the police weren't doing any searches.
No.
The family was doing their own searching.
Yeah, like the dad out looking at night driving around, they were out doing all these searches. They said the family was doing kind of organizing their own thing because nobody was doing anything.
There was no official search.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. If he's already talking to somebody else, I could see him, right off the bat not really wanting to participate in this thing.
If he had another girlfriend at the time.
Because that'd make it weird.
Yeah.
And it ain't like he found her dead or nothing. She's just missing right now.
Yeah.
So, I don't really think that's a big flag. I mean, it's kind of that. Now, him acting like he's not worried, that is. Because even though if you broke up and you've been together for 3 years, you're going to be worried about somebody. I don't care what you say. If you,
oh yeah,
but,
you'll always be, especially just a month.
Yeah, because that's still Band-Aid fresh ripped off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as going over to hang out with her family and looking, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Maybe you would, but I don't see that as a big, oh shit, he didn't even come look for her. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. But now there was an investigator there in the town. His name was Ted McQuinley.
Mm-hmm.
And he got in on this case, and he got to looking into it, and just so happened he was a cousin to David Pflum, Denise's father. Yeah, which to me is a little bit of conflict of interest.
It definitely is, and then I can see that 2 different ways. It definitely is because he's definitely going to have to investigate his family.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, if you're the family, you kind of feel better about somebody that you know and trust looking for her.
Yeah, they would seem like he would put more effort into it, maybe.
Yeah, and keep you more informed if he could. Let you know more than the typical.
I get that.
Investigator. I think you put more trust in somebody that they're really gonna get out there and bust their butt looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can also see that it's kind of a conflict because he's gonna have to start investigating them pretty hard.
Mm-hmm. But they weren't investigating anything. They didn't come to the house and look for anything. They didn't search Denise's bedroom
At all, ever.
No, maybe look through notes and letters she had written. They didn't check anything like that.
No.
And this Ted McQuinley, he didn't write anything down.
What?
He didn't take any notes. He didn't...
Wait. So if he talked to people we don't know who he talked to, and if he talked to people that we don't know who he talked to, if they told him anything, we don't know if he told him anything.
That's right.
So he could never go back and recheck notes?
He didn't write anything down. He didn't take anything down. Because, at some point, if this case keeps going on, he's probably going to get pulled off of it and, go to another department.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, who's going to look into this case?
Nobody can ever follow up.
No.
Well, that don't seem weird at all.
And if they go back to Ted and say, hey, what was up with this right here on this case? Well, they told me about that, but I don't remember.
Right.
If you'd have wrote it down.
Right. So even if he followed out a lead, we don't know. Even if they had leads that fizzled out, we don't know. We don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Or anybody knows nothing except for him.
And like the ex-boyfriend, Sean, he took his alibi, and that was it. He didn't check.
Okay, at this point, I can take back a lot of that stuff. Where I really thought that, this guy would be busting his butt because he's family.
He didn't check alibis or anything. He actually looked into more of the parents than he did anybody else, because it was published in the newspaper that the parents had been cleared.
He don't take notes, but he calls the newspaper.
Yeah. So just to let them know, the parents, we're doing our job, but the parents have been cleared. Well, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But the parents had solid alibis.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they were squared away. But all this other stuff with...
I can't believe he didn't take no notes for nothing.
Nothing. Didn't write anything down or anything.
Is that not the number one investigating rule?
You start writing stuff down, man.
Everything.
Yeah.
Document everything, whether it seems important or not.
Yeah, because the next guy coming along, he'll have it. So, we talked about Denise going out and looking for her purse.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the purse shows up at her house. A cousin of Denise's, they had it. They'd found it.
Okay, where did she find it?
We don't know. It hadn't been reported. So
we don't know who had it or where it was.
We don't know if this cousin was at the bonfire or what.
This is me just staring because I have no words for this.
This is the most messed up case ever, man.
Yeah. What the hell? This is pitiful.
It is. The police on this is just not doing their job.
Apparently. At least the investigator guy isn't.
I know. And the Wednesday after Denise disappeared, police receive a tip that a 23-year-old wanted man named Mark Hughes is in the area.
Okay.
And the police led a high-speed chase in a stolen car through the area, about 2 to 3 miles from where Denise's car was found. And again, this happened just 2 days before she went missing. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
So this don't really mean anything at this point. It's just except for they knew it was a wanted guy in the area.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess they were just, trying to look for everything they could, but...
Well, it's a tip. I guess you got to follow up on it.
I guess.
It's a wanted guy. He's in the area. He's within 2 miles of where her car was, even though he's got a stolen car and we don't know nothing else. Okay.
But now initially...
Did they find him?
No, he vanished, but police are now looking for him even harder to question him about Denise. And lo and behold, it's not long before they find him. So he's placed under arrest for the stolen vehicle.
Okay.
And while he's held in custody, police decide to take the opportunity to see if he knows what had happened to Denise.
Well, I'm sure he don't. And if he did, we don't know because nobody wrote it down.
Yeah. But he didn't know anything about Denise.
Okay, well, see you later.
That's probably what they did. Probably let him go.
Oh, my God. So I guess basically they heard he was a bad guy in the area, so we're going to go check him out. And that's kind of odd that, the guy disappeared, but then when they really looked for him, they found him.
Yeah. So we have this bad guy who's here 2 days before, who's on the run, and I think they're thinking like if he had happened to cross paths with Denise by some coincidence, maybe something happened.
Well, that's, I can see that.
It's a stretch.
Yeah, I can see that.
And after questioning Mark Hughes and searching for physical evidence, police really can't see any link between him and Denise.
I was going to say, you think he even looked.
But the police, they have their eye on another guy.
Okay.
And his name is Benny Johnson.
Okay, so is this a better...
It's a little bit better.
Okay.
It's a little bit better suspect. Now, Benny Johnson, his father is Ben Johnson, and he owns the land that the bonfire party was held on.
Okay, so did this Benny Johnson, was he the guy put on the party, or do we know?
We don't know if he was at the party or not.
Okay, but it was on their land?
Yeah, it was on his land, but Benny was an acquaintance of Denise, and he knew her through the ex-boyfriend, Sean.
Okay.
So within the first 2 weeks after Denise disappears, he apparently calls up Denise's parents and says that he wants to talk to them. And the first thing he says was, I didn't kill your daughter.
What?
Yeah, that was the first thing he said. What kind of statement is that, dude?
Sounds like a guilty one to me.
It just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. You're like, I mean...
They don't even know how to take it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Like, what the hell do you mean?
So she's just missing at this point.
Right, yeah. This is what, they say, a week?
Yeah.
Ah, dang.
So that ain't sketchy at all, man.
Yeah. Yeah, not at all.
So the police, they go talk to Benny.
Well, heck yeah. At least they're doing that.
But when they try, his family hires a lawyer and refuses to allow him to talk to the police. And apparently, they're all kind of being a big deal in this community without any evidence.
Right. Well, there's also been rumored that there was like 2 or 3 people who said that he had confessed to people that he did kill Denise.
Yeah, like a drunken confession or something. Yeah. He was
like,
going around town saying that he did.
And then he went and told them
that he didn't.
Right. And I think even one witness had said that he had heard him do it at least 3 times to different people.
Yes.
Well, so he's telling everybody else he did kill her, and then he goes to your mama's house and goes, hey, how you doing? Well, I didn't kill your daughter.
Yeah. And she's just missing.
What the hell, dude?
Yeah.
What is going on up here?
This is like I said, this is a messed up case, man.
So the cops don't get to talk to him all. His daddy done lawyered him up because he feels the heat's coming or something.
I guess. And Dale, those confessions aren't even the only thing tying Benny Johnson to Denise's disappearance, because it turns out that just after Denise went missing, Benny hosted a party at his family's cabin on this property. It was a little remote cabin they had.
So his parents just got a ton of property.
Oh, yeah, they got a ton of property around this area. Now, before this party, he and a friend had gone there early, I guess, to clean it up.
Wasn't his girlfriend, I think?
It could have been.
Right.
And while they were there, the friend noticed some blood.
Yeah, and I think the blood was on a sheet.
Yeah, but it was a lot of blood.
A lot of blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Benny had just said that somebody went up there and they'd lost their virginity, and
that's where the blood come from?
Yeah, that's what they were saying. But it was a lot of blood. And they were there the night before.
Especially if he's telling his girlfriend that, she's going to like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so what then? They go search the cabin?
No, they didn't go search the cabin. They just left it.
So she tells the investigators what she saw, and they don't do nothing?
No, not a thing. They didn't go check nothing, dude.
So is Ben Johnson funding this police department?
I don't know.
What the hell
is
the
Ben Johnson,
his daddy,
police department?
Yeah. I mean, come on.
But now on top of that, the investigators receive another tip from a woman named Vivian, and she says that the day Denise went missing, she was at her home in Connersville when she heard 3 blood-curdling screams from what sounded like a woman. And Vivian heard those screams, and she was pretty sure they were coming from just southwest of her home, and guesses what's not far from that direction. There was a large plot of land owned by none other than Benny Johnson's family.
Almighty.
Yeah.
Now this kind of goes back. There was another rumor that was going around that Benny and another guy had got drunk and had told them that they had brought Denise to their place, or to the cabin, and something happened. They were all partying, and when Denise saw a bunch of drugs, she kind of flipped out, and somebody hit her.
Punched her,
and basically beat her to death, and then fed her to some hogs.
Yeah.
And that's where then the person who had said this rumor was where this blood-curdling screams is coming from. Guttural screams is the way she said it.
Yeah.
So this is the same screams this lady's thinking she's hearing.
That's right.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just a mile from where her car was found.
Yes.
And they didn't even go check.
No, they didn't check nothing. Yeah, I know, dude. But this Johnson family, is a very influential family.
I guess so.
In this town. But there's just some straight up incompetence that's going on. But the rumors are running rampant and becoming so loud that Benny's family steps up, and they're the ones that kind of push for something to happen at this point.
Oh, yeah, they wanted them quieting this all down.
Yeah.
And I bet they do.
And they decide to arrange for a private polygraph, and they pay for it themselves.
For what? For Benny?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, we'll pay for it. We'll let you know what they say.
Yeah.
So what happened there?
Well, but the results, they took the polygraph, but the results were never shared, Dale. So it's like,
Wait, what?
yeah, so it's the idea of like,
Okay, we're gonna put this to bed. We're gonna give Benny a polygraph. We're gonna pay for it. We're gonna bring in our own polygraph test, and I think everything's good. We don't even have to show you what he said.
yeah, we paid for it, so we're not sharing what he said or the results.
Yeah, but everything's cool.
It's a crazy mess, man.
What kind of mess you got us in this week? My Lord, this girl.
Now, getting back to the other guy we talked about, this Mark Hughes, he was the one.
The car thief.
Yeah. He was also arrested for a stolen car, like we said, and he had spent the previous year incarcerated on charges related to theft and receiving stolen goods. But on April 2nd of 1987, he was released from prison. And now just 2 days later, Mark walks into a Payless shoe store in Indianapolis and pulls a knife on a 16-year-old girl and forces her out of the store into his car, where he's forced her to drive an hour away to Terre Haute, Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah. And this girl, she was thinking on her feet, but whatever he planned, it wasn't good.
Oh, I'm sure.
And she tells him that she needs to go to the bathroom.
Right.
And he pulls over and, like, leading into a farm that's,
Like a driveway or something?
Yeah. And that's when she gets out of the car and just books it.
Well, smart. Just jump out and run.
Yeah, just run.
So he didn't chase her. She gets away, or what?
Yeah, she gets away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy, maybe he's not just a car thief.
No.
Okay.
But, I mean, he's very possible.
We'll put him back on the list.
Very possibly could have done this, yeah.
Right.
So this girl from the Payless shoe store was able to get away, find help, and return home safely, which starts another manhunt for this Mark Hughes. And it takes a week for the police to track him down.
Well, they're pretty good at catching this guy.
Yeah, but on April the 12th, he is apprehended and placed under arrest and charged with kidnapping, robbery, and theft, and ends up being convicted and sentenced to 55 years. And he's actually still in prison today. Yeah. So you might think that this would land him back on investigators' radar for Denise's case, but the first time the stolen car, he's just a bad guy in the area. That's all he is. So, but
okay.
Yeah.
Even though he's pulling a knife to kidnap a teenage girl and took her to another city, we ain't worried about it.
That's right.
God almighty.
So really, in the Denise's case, nothing happens for a year. But then on August the 10th of 1988, Judy, her mom, gets a really strange phone call, and it's a Wednesday, but Judy is home because it's her usual day off from her job and at the bank, and the phone rings. She picks it up right away, and she hears the automated message telling her that she's getting a collect call. And it's coming from all the way from Norfolk, Virginia. But she don't know anybody in the area. Yeah.
I'm sure she takes the call. Right?
Yeah, she does. And she's trying to figure out who it is, and there's a person on the other end of the line that says it's Denise.
Oh, shit.
But the connection isn't that great. So, and she couldn't really decide if it was in Denise's voice or not, but her and David, they take off to Norfolk, Virginia.
Well, at this point, you got to do what you got to do.
That's right.
It's been a year, right?
Yeah, and actually the phone call was traced to an apartment building. And they've gone off to Norfolk, Virginia, and this was just a week before their younger daughter, Jenny, is set to go off to college. But Dave and Judy, they just can't let this go by. But what it was, the girl living in that apartment was a 19-year-old girl who used to live in Connersville before moving to Norfolk with her husband.
So she knew the story.
Yeah. So she just thought it might
She was
be
just trying to get some money.
Yeah, thought it might be a fun thing to do on a Wednesday.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd have known the fun thing when I opened that door.
Yeah. Yeah, she'd got her teeth bashed in. Yeah.
Now, Donnie. Yeah, same.
But at this point, Dale, Denise's case is really going cold.
Yeah.
They ain't finding anything. Nothing's being dug up or anything at this
Right.
point.
So they got to try to find a way to get this back in the news or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they go public.
They do. And they go to the
Rushville Republican.
Yeah, say that three times real fast.
I'm assuming that's the newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they talked to a guy by the name of Daniel McFeely.
Right.
And they're trying to get some stuff shaken up.
Right.
And get some pressure back on law enforcement. It kind of works a little bit, but something shakes police into action after a few years. And about 5 years, they finally get a search warrant.
For the damn cabin.
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah, for Benny Johnson's cabin.
I'm sure they've cleaned up a little bit from then.
You'd think, yeah. Like I said, this is the one where they discovered the blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The day after.
Yeah. 5 years.
So I'm sure they didn't turn up anything after 5 years.
Probably not, no.
And if they did, they probably didn't write it down.
Probably not.
I'm in shock.
So at this point, there's a new detective on the case. His name is Scott Jarvis, and he's going in with a fresh set of eyes. His first priority is reworking all those tips that came in over the years. And according to an interview with Christine Guerrera of the Indy Star, he's looking at every possible angle, and nothing's off limit for him. It's been over 20 years since Denise had disappeared at this point.
20 years.
Yeah. So there's plenty of time for people to come up with their own theories as to what had happened to Denise.
Yeah.
And Detective Jarvis investigates all of them. He talks to a lot of people who claim to know where Denise's remains are buried. And he interviews prisoners who claim to know exactly what happened to Denise.
So what happened to Detective Cousin or whatever? Is he retired by now, or we don't know nothing?
He probably just got moved to a different department.
I guess so.
Yeah, he's not on the case anymore.
Be janitor or something.
He needs to be a janitor.
Yeah, because I don't know how this guy can even rework a case that was never worked to begin with.
Nope. But they were able to get some of Denise's DNA.
Right.
I guess some stuff she had in her room, and maybe they had a baby tooth that she had lost.
Yeah, I think that's what they used.
Yeah. So I'm sure they probably had hair from a hairbrush or something she had in her room. And
right.
So they was able to get
sure
DNA.
There's plenty of ways to get it.
And it was entered into the national databases in hopes that someday a match might be made, maybe to a Jane Doe that was found somewhere.
Right, but as of now, nothing, right?
No, But Judy and David, Denise's parents, have been holding on to everything of Denise's this whole time.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
You know, everything in the room just left like it was.
Just like it was, yeah.
Or trophies or books or clothes.
Waiting for her to come home.
Yeah. And there was this baby tooth that had been pulled when she was a child, so that's what we used to get the DNA from.
Right.
But now, moving up to 2017, there was a small spark that came back with this. Like we talked about, the ex-boyfriend, Sean McClung, he moves back to Indianapolis.
Yeah, he had moved to Arizona not long after all this happened.
Yeah, I think it had been...
I'm not sure how long because it's not very precise.
I had read that it was about August of that year that Denise went missing.
So 6 months or so.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and some people say, well, he just left town right away, but it was quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he moves back to Indiana in 2017.
Okay.
But he isn't really squeaky clean. There was some stuff.
Talk of some domestic violence.
Yeah, and assault, intimidation, and the detective assigned to Denise's case. Now, at this point in 2017, they tried their luck to maybe see if he's willing to come in for an interview.
Yeah, and
so he comes in for questioning. And Sean denies any involvement in Denise's disappearance. But he agrees to do what they call a voice stress test.
Yeah, we know how that goes.
Yeah. And he takes the test and he fails it on a few key questions.
All right.
And one of the most important questions was, did you kill Denise? And do you know where she is?
Right.
He failed both of those questions.
Well, you know, when we talked to our guy, he didn't put much thought into that, you know, as far as the stress test. Yeah. I was going to say lie detector, but I don't want him to get mad at me if you listen to this because that ain't what he calls it.
It's a polygraph.
Right.
Yeah.
Machine or instrument. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't call it an instrument either. But those voice stress tests, I just don't know about them.
Yeah, I don't put much into that.
But he did fail those questions on that stress test.
Right.
And they're looking at Sean kind of sideways on this.
Well, I'm sure they try to look at somebody sideways because they ain't done nothing else. And they can't look at Benny because his daddy got in. Yeah, I guess he's still all right. They probably never talked to him, have they?
No.
At this point, no?
No, not at this point, no. He lawyered up and they don't have anything on him.
Yeah, I think Daddy got him locked away.
Probably so. But the thing is, like, they're not taking this to court or anything, Dale.
Right, the polygraph or the stress test stuff.
No,
You can't do none of that in court. So
No.
Right. So
Yeah.
just looking for something to give them motivation or whatever to keep going, right?
Yeah. And a lot of people have forgotten about Denise.
Because it's been so long.
I know.
Yeah, sadly.
But obviously there's her parents, Judy and David, and
Right.
their other daughter, Jenny.
Yeah, and they're not going to give up.
No, And they're also supported by a woman named Stacy Reese, who is actually a detective in another jurisdiction.
Okay.
But now Stacy grew up in Connersville, Indiana. And although she is just 3 years old at the time,
When Denise went missing?
yeah,
Okay.
she remembers her parents talking about this case, like her mom used to babysit Denise or something. And her dad was part of the initial volunteer searches for her.
Oh, wow.
And over the years, she has become so invested in Denise's disappearance that she's now dedicated personal time to promote this case and chase down whatever lead she can.
Right. But since she's in another jurisdiction, she can't get any of the original case files.
No, she don't have access to
But
them at all.
hell, what case files are they?
Probably nothing.
Besides a list of tips.
You know, whatever people done after this McQuinley,
Gosh.
Ted McQuinley.
Well, fries my taters.
Stacy's pretty much on her own, but her support means a lot to the Pflums.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You know, it just shows basically after all these years, not everybody has forgotten,
I know. But in 2018, a Facebook page called Justice for Denise Pflum is set up, and it's based on what I can see. It's just looks like her parents actually manage it, and it's pretty quickly goes viral.
In 2018, okay.
Yeah, and it's got thousands of followers. And specifically, a post was made by Stacy, and it does what social media is meant to do. You know, is keep these cases alive, and it gets people talking about Denise's case again. So that's probably why that same year, investigators decided to revisit some locations that had been rumored to be connected in some way to Denise's disappearance.
Yeah, it's only taken 20-some years.
I know. And the primary location that they're looking at is Mary Graybird Sanctuary, which is a large nature preserve in the area.
Yeah, 700 acres.
Yeah, pretty large.
Yeah.
But there's a particular pond that's of interest to investigators, and this is on Benny Johnson's property.
Now, the reason they're out here searching around this bird sanctuary in this pond goes way back to something that the girlfriend of Benny Johnson heard years and years before, where one day after school, he had invited her to come. He was going to go take her and show her something.
In the woods, yeah.
Out in these woods. And she got really uptight about it because it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
So
she actually went out there and got to feeling kind of weird and just backed out.
Well, she was weird before then because she actually told one of her friends, if I'm not home by 4 o'clock, I'm with Benny at this bird sanctuary, and you call the police if I'm not back.
Yeah.
So tell me that ain't got a weird feeling. If you're going to do that, something bad's going. You know, at this point, why even go?
That's right.
You know, that's the, call somebody and let me know. If you already got that far in, you don't want to go and you don't feel like being there. But she did go. And then, so he starts taking her out to the sanctuary, and they drive out where they walk out, I guess, out to near where this pond is. And he's going through these clearing, out through this dense stuff out in this clearing. But at this point is when she got really freaked out because she didn't know what was going on, whether he was going to show her weird or if he was going to kill her or what was going on. And she just at this point, she goes, look, just take me home because I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, and he does. He does take her home.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was the end of that. But that story popped up, and that's why they're out here searching, because they're thinking maybe, something's out in the pond, or maybe, a body's in the pond or something.
That's very true.
So they're out here at least searching something they should have done 20-something years ago.
That's right. And they go back out in 2018, and they've got 2 cadaver dogs on the scene, and both dogs hit on the exact same spot near the pond.
Well, that ought to tell you something.
So plenty of officers and volunteers go examine the site and even drain the pond, which isn't easy.
Right?
No, it ain't easy at all. And they start draining and excavating, and just another dead end.
Oh, come on.
Despite the dogs hitting on that spot, there was no trace of human remains to be found, which means, once again, it seems like there's no real way.
So we're back to square one.
Yeah, for investigators to establish a connection between Denise and Benny.
Even if that's where she was, they could have been moved, or anything could have happened in 20 years.
Yeah.
Hell, at this point, it's probably been way longer than 20 years.
I know, but the next thing that happens,
well more, yeah.
The next thing that happens isn't until June of 2020. And this is when the ex-boyfriend, Sean McClung, is hospitalized with a serious illness.
A terminal, right?
Yeah, and Denise's mom, Judy, she takes this opportunity to confront him in a letter. And she just basically pleads with him to do whatever he can to give her and the rest of Denise's family some kind of closure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she's like, you know me, Dave and I are getting older, and our greatest fear is never knowing what happened to our daughter.
Man, that breaks my heart.
I know. And she's just asking, in this letter for any information.
Yeah, she just wants some answers.
Yeah. Now, at the same time, Sean receives Judy's letter. He is also arrested on fraud charges.
So not only is he clinging to life in this serious illness in the hospital, but he's getting arrested on some fraud charges.
Yeah. But he is released from the hospital, and he's now being held in the county jail on whatever these fraud charges are.
Right.
Though, once again, investigators take this opportunity to talk about Denise's case.
Well, maybe got real investigators now.
Yeah, and at first it seems like old story, but nothing new. But after Sean has a few days in custody, that's when the lead investigator gets a call. And Sean is finally ready to talk about what happened to Denise. So when investigators talk to Sean, he agrees to tell them what happened on 2 conditions.
Okay.
First, he wants these fraud charges dismissed. And the second, he wants immunity in Denise's case. But when investigators reach out to Judy and David to let them know the situation, they're actually okay with it.
Right.
They say,
at this point, they just want to know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, they want Denise's body, and they want some kind of closure.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be able to move on.
Okay.
They ain't really caring about the justice part of it. They just want Denise's remains back.
Yeah, and this is 2020?
Yeah, June of 2020. It wasn't long ago at all.
1986.
Yeah. But like I said, Sean is diagnosed with this terminal illness. It ain't told what it is, but
Right.
it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
So Sean is in custody, and they take him out.
Well, they gave him a couple conditions too, right?
Yeah, they do.
So his conditions was basically he has to tell what happened, if he did it and what happened, and then show where her body is.
That's right.
That's the conditions of you getting immunity and getting those other charges dropped. That way he can be out of jail.
And there's a $25,000 reward that
So he
goes
gets that
along.
too?
Yeah, that goes with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's odd, but
Yeah.
But I guess they want her back.
Yeah, they do.
Right.
So they take Sean out. They take him out to a few places, and some of this is on the Johnson property. And he's just out walking around kind of dumbfounded looking.
Well, everything's probably changed in 40 years.
Yeah, probably is. But the police aren't telling him anything. They're just letting him talk and point out stuff, and they don't find anything, man.
No.
They go to like 15 sites.
They do this like over three or 4 days, right?
Yeah, and Sean is unable to produce anything. He can't show him where she's at. Yeah. So you think if he had done it, if things would have changed by then, said, well, she's in this general area, bring in some cadaver dogs and look.
Yeah, and I think the story he gave them is that the day that she went missing, that she had called him to go help look for the pocketbook.
Yes.
Since nobody else would go. It's his story. And they went out and they went to go look, and then they went for a drive. And then they ended up at a place called 3 Mile Bridge. And there they were talking a bit, and then things kind of got heated. They started arguing. And then at some point, he pushed her, and she fell to the ground. And when she fell, she hit her head.
Yeah.
And he kind of walked off to kind of cool down a little bit. When she come back, she wasn't moving again. Mm-mm. She was gone.
Yeah.
That was his story.
That was
right?
his story, yeah.
So like she fell and hit a rock or something. Who knows what. But then after that, he don't give them a lot of details, right?
That's right.
So that's where that, and then he can't. They said you were talking about. You said that they were out there looking, and the cops were just not saying anything and waiting for him to tell them anything. And one of the investigators was saying that he actually was looking to them like maybe they was going to give him a hint to where to go, and so basically he's waiting for them to kind of help him
clue him in a little bit.
Yeah. But they ain't buying, and they're not biting on it. They're
they
just
ain't
waiting.
telling him
They ain't
nothing.
telling him nothing.
No.
Because they're just waiting a minute. You got to hold up your end of the bargain.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't find her, it's off.
But he ain't able to produce anything at all.
So basically, it tells me he's lying.
Yeah, they take him back and said the deal's off.
I mean, I can understand, because I think me and you talked about this a little bit earlier today, this part here, because as many killers and serial killers and stuff we've talked about, them guys don't forget much.
No.
They know it's on the other side of that tree behind that rock over that one stump back there behind that other tree, and you'll find her close to that area.
I went down this road and there it is.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be a little bit stuff and stuff looks way different, but they don't forget a lot. I mean, you're not going to go to 3 or 4 separate locations.
No.
I mean, you might go somewhere in this field. I'm not sure where it was in this field, but it's in this field, and that's where it'll be. It ain't like, well, this field, or maybe it was that other field. And, it's not like they're looking for 10 victims, where I can't remember where these are, but I know one was here. This is one, and he should know exactly where.
Yeah. So that means the immunity deal is off.
Oh, yeah.
But they still have this confession on record.
Yeah.
Of him killing her.
Yeah, so the immunity's off, the money's off, and basically I think he was just trying to get the money for his family or something, right?
Well, he was wanting that $25,000 to give to his kids.
Yeah.
Because he had that terminal illness.
Right.
Yeah.
But guess what? Since we have this on tape, we're just going to go ahead and charge you with it anyway. If they know he's lying, why are they going to charge him anyway?
That's right.
That's what I'm kind of getting at. They knew this whole thing. I mean, they had their hopes up, and they probably spent some money and some time taking him out there to follow up on his claims. But you're going to charge him with it anyway, even though he gave you a lying confession. I mean, what good is this going to do?
So on July 9th of 2020, Sean is actually charged with voluntary manslaughter.
Right.
Yeah. And just a couple months later, on September 26th, before his trial can even begin, Sean passes away from his illness. And his attorney tells the Rushville Record that in his final days, he fully recanted his confession and admitted he only told police that he was involved as a way to get out of jail and be back with his family and give the money to his kids.
Right, so he can be out of jail for just the last few days of his life.
Yeah.
And then provide something for his family.
Yeah.
So basically saying he lied about it all because he's just trying to do something to help his family, even though the good deed was not such a good deed.
And me and you were talking, at this point, he's diagnosed with that terminal illness.
He's got nothing to lose.
He's got nothing to lose. So, yeah.
I kind of get that. I mean, it's kind of crappy to get the family's hopes up like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I can kind of see, he's like, I don't know. I don't want to, I don't want to go down that road. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. So, I guess since he passes away, we're back to Benny Johnson.
Yeah.
The Mark Hughes guy, he's in prison. He could have done it, I guess. But, he's doing 55 years. He might have told him he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I really don't think that's our guy. But this Benny guy, man, he looks like he's the guy.
Yeah.
Of course, then you also got to bring up Larry Hall, right?
Yeah, we've talked about Larry Hall in another episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a suspected serial killer at this time, and he was around the area, and he was known for his Civil War reenactments.
Yeah.
He would participate in these, and he was
driving around in an old van.
Yeah, he had like mutton chops and a mustache, just played the part of a Civil War
guy.
Reenactor, yeah.
Right.
But he has been linked to this case of Denise Pflum, and supposedly in the area at the time.
So he's like confessed to like 35 murders, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Including hers.
He
had made this list, I think, and then the dates kind of lined up. It wasn't really, he didn't have dates per month, day, year, but it was like under the year of 1986, he had a Denise in this area on his so-called list. But, a lot of people think he's either killed like 50 people or he's really lied about a lot. So I don't know if he's a serial murderer or a serial confessor. Would that be the way you do it?
Kind of.
Because, they got him, he's in prison for life for kidnapping, right?
Yes, he is.
Kidnapped somebody who died, and that's a federal offense that comes with life without parole.
He's actually imprisoned here in North Carolina in Butner.
Right.
He is. But I don't know. I don't know if Larry Hall had anything to do with it or not. No,
but just because he was in the area and it was possible, and he made a list, put her name on it, but, he could have got that from anywhere.
Could have. But, what gets me is the whole purse situation that she was going back out there to get. Did something happen to it that night? Did somebody...
Well, how the hell did the cousin get it to bring it back home?
I know.
Unless they found it on... I don't know, man. This is all weird.
Was somebody that night playing a prank on her and hiding it from her?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just to be a goof, and then the cousin brings it back?
Or maybe did she...
I would like to know...
Did she see her cousin and go, can I put this in your car? And then forget about it? Did she drive home? Do we know that? Did she drive out there and back, or did she go out there and party and then somebody took her home?
Oh, Denise?
Yeah.
She drove home without her purse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just thought maybe she had, had too many beers and somebody dropped her off home and then she realized she'd left it in her car or something, but forgot about it the next morning. That was my angle there.
It had been reported that she had misplaced it at the bonfire.
Okay.
Somewhere out there in the field. And the cousin brings it home.
Right.
So I would like to know.
Well, and we don't really know what kind of party situation we're talking about. We're not talking about if it's just a big old plain field with a fire in the middle, or if somebody had like some makeshift benches and stuff sitting around where people can just hang out, or people bringing chairs and that kind of thing. We don't really know what the situation was. So I could see if everybody's just hanging around and there's like a bunch of logs or some kind of something to sit on and they're just talking, and then you get ready to leave and get up and go and you just leave it there, and forget it. Something like that. But being if it's just a big open field, I just don't see her carrying it around. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's odd to me. Especially if she drove, she'd left it in the car. I don't know. That's what I think.
Just lock it up in the car.
Because she got her keys.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Because she's able to drive home.
Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of odd to me. But, I don't carry a purse, so, I don't know. But, I've been a lot of places where people who do, and usually want to just leave it in the car because you don't want to have to keep up with it.
I would just like to know the circumstances about the cousin finding the purse.
Or how they got it. Or
Where
they got it from.
Yeah, and bringing it to the house.
Right.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything on that.
And
that is just weird.
If they had it, why wouldn't they call it that morning? But if she got up at 12:30, if they've been out partying all night, 12:30 is kind of early anyway for a teenager to be up and out and going about. But I don't know. It's just, that is kind of baffling.
Yeah. Just to me, this Benny Johnson and it being their family's property, they had this party on. That just seems so.
I just don't understand how they cannot question this dude.
I know. Yeah, he's just completely under the radar on this.
Does his lawyer never even offer up a statement or nothing?
I don't guess.
I just don't understand. How can you have? Well, I guess because you didn't investigate. That's why.
But at the time of Denise's disappearance, she was wearing a medium red Motley Crue T-shirt, size 11 blue striped jeans.
Man, this is a cool chick.
Old size 9 white sneakers, size 7 hip hugger panties, size 34B beige or white bra, a gold ring with a garnet, and a silver class ring with a red setting. And Denise is a Caucasian female with brown hair, brown eyes. Her ears are pierced, and she wears contact lenses. Yeah, she was 5'6" and 135 pounds. Very pretty girl.
Yeah.
But if anybody has any information on Denise Pflum, they can contact the Fayette County Sheriff's Department at 765-222-1272.
This is just crazy, man. I can't get over this.
Yeah, this family.
I know there's not a whole lot to this case as far as what we can offer you guys, but there's a whole lot of stuff that these investigators did not do.
Yeah.
This is just crazy.
There is a 3-part documentary on Vice TV that was done on this. It's really good. If you get a chance, watch it. It's got more details.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
Yeah. Check it out. Way more than we've given on this episode. And they get into some of the theories that we've talked about. So go check it out if you get a chance.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to go get me a Monster beer.
All right, dude. We're going to get out of here, man.
All right, man. Let's roll.
We want everyone to be safe. Please be careful and always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is
the Crack House Chronicles.